prepared for the future is going to start with mayoral accountability. There have been far too many systemic failures in our school system throughout the years, and we know it's clear that our city will be successful with renewing mayoral accountability, and that's what our focus is today. The Chancellor and I have laid out a bold new vision for our children and for the families that attend our public school system. And this is the first time in history where we have two men who grew up in the public school system with two different experiences. One dealing with the learning disability, another dealing with the gifted and talented program. And I say this over and over again, as I stated at my State of the City address. I mean, we had two guys from Boston fans. Why can't we have a Mets and Yankees fan run our school system? We grew up in this system, and we know what's needed. And so this is an unprecedented moment for the two of us in understanding the power of the public school system. Public schools that are doing the right thing produce chancellors and mayors and union leaders, union employees, everyday New Yorkers go through our public school system. And so the bold plans and transformative plans we have for the future would help our kids, support our educators, which is crucial, and listen to our families. I am just amazed at how in one day Chancellor Banks is able to navigate the complexities of the different voices in the school system. What he's about to roll out with superintendents is listening directly to the community and allow them to participate in the choosing of superintendents. This is the vision that he has and understands. And an extension of mayoral accountability is currently under review in Albany. And we have so many friends up there that are reaching out to us and stating, Eric, we want to make sure this is done correctly. We will be visiting Albany in the next few weeks to speak with them, let them hear from me as I walk the halls of my former role as a state senator, and really encourage them to see the benefits of having the combination of Chancellor Banks and this mayor looking towards controlling our school system. And when you think about it, after 2 years of trauma to our students, uncertainty cannot be part of the curriculum. There needs to be stability and the surety that these young people are going to know what is going to happen in the upcoming school year. And we're looking to make some real changes for all of our students and give them what they need to have a well-rounded education. And when you do an examination, we would not have been able to accomplish the way we did pre-K and expand 3K without mayoral control, increase graduation rates by 20% under mayoral control, ensure that every student in every zip code receives 100% of fair student funded, mayoral control, make sure every school has the resources to hire a full-time social worker, mayoral control, and quickly direct resources to support schools in need. And that's one of the hallmarks of mayoral accountability. You have to immediately be able to shift to those schools that are in need in real time, because education is a real-time experience. So mayoral accountability allows us to bring the most comprehensive and popular summer program in New York City's history, Summer Rising. This is an unbelievable approach to dealing with the summer loss that happens traditionally. We know our children experience summer loss throughout the school year because of COVID. Summer Rising is going to move to attempt to close that gap of summer loss, and that's why we believe it's crucial to continue mayoral accountability. Each of these victories are products of sustained engagement with families, elected leaders, and all the school stakeholders. To us, engagement is not just a slogan, it is an applied practice. No one knows it better than this chancellor because he's doing it every day. And now it's imperative that we get to help from Albany, which we are excited about, the energy we are receiving from Albany, to return male accountability to this administration. Because we're still dealing with the inequities. We're still dealing with so much work that needs to be done around our children as we deal with the crisis of COVID. This is our time to make sure that these improvements continue. And the bottom line is, if anyone should be in charge of our schools, it is David and this mayor. We know what this school system needs. We're ready to move it in the right direction. And a public school mayor, public school chancellor is what our public school system needs at this time. We have been given a historical opportunity to make a difference in our school. The failing schools in our city feeds the crises that we are experiencing throughout our city. What we fail to do in public school turns into the crises in our public lives, and we want to turn it around. We were elected to get stuff done. Mayoral accountability will allow us to do that, and so we are proud to partner with the governor, the speaker, the majority leader, and my conversations with them, they understand how important this is. We need to get this over the finish line so we can continue to make the progress that we deserve in our school system. And so I'm really pleased to be joined by our union representation. They have been clear in their support. They understand how important this moment is, and I cannot thank them enough to be a continuing voice for how do we improve our schools that will improve the future of our families in this city. So again, thank you, Chancellor, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. And just for the record, the mayor and I are both Mets fans. we are Brooklyn, Queens kids. And it's so interesting, you know, in many ways, we shouldn't even have to be here today to have this conversation. The reality is that the mayor and I are both products of this system, and we've dedicated our lives and our careers to the fabric of New York City. The mayor spent the bulk of his career in the police department, and I was in the classrooms educating young people. And I remember the system the way it was. And it was a system that was wrought with political corruption. It is the reason why we went to mayoral accountability. The old system did not work. And if we went back to a system, if we did not grant mayoral control, we would be going back to a system that does not function well. And so we have to do everything we can to make sure that that does not happen. And we're thrilled to be joined here today by two union leaders. And so the political director from 32BJ, Ms. Candace Tolliver, please join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't start out any speech without saying 32 BJ. All right. So, you know, I'm here today representing 85,000 workers, essential workers in New York City, 5,000 of which work in New York City schools as cleaners. And we're here today because we know that streamlining accountability is most important. Our schools and our students need to have a system where there's one focus on accountability, and there's someone who's in charge who can streamline the work and make sure all of our students are getting everything they need in order to be successful. Our members are cleaners in New York City schools, and even that is important to have one head and one leadership that is held accountable for what happens in the school system. We're happy to be here. We're supportive of mayoral accountability, and we're going to fight and stand by this mayor until it's accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to close us out, one of the great union leaders, the president of Local 372, Sean Francois.
Yeah.
Labor, we in the house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, Labor, we in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, we in here. Listen, I've been with this system for a long time, 30 years long. And I've seen, like the mayor said, I've seen how the system was corrupted years ago. And I've always knew there needed to be a change. And finally, that change has come. We have two products of this environment that worked through it. Rank and file members that came through the trenches. The trenches start with yourself first. You can't have accountability unless you start with yourself first. It begins with you. That's the beginning. With yourself, then you go out there to the public and teach everybody else about accountability. We need one system, one system. When the Board of Education is opposed to the Department of Education, it's all over the place. Nothing was getting done. You can't go to certain departments. This department, go to this department. Go to this department. Go over here. Go over here. Where do we go? It's disgusting. It doesn't work. It's a broke system that needs to be fixed. We have two gentlemen, David Banks, Mayor Adams, that's going to fix this system the right way and make it right. This is what we do. I am Sean D. Francois the First. I'm here on behalf of D37, Henry Garrido, and myself, Local 372. We are here to make a difference. This is what we do. Are we ready for it, guys? Yes, yeah. No. Are we ready for it, guys? Yeah. Are we ready over here? Yeah. Are we ready back there? Because you know why? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
So I think the mayor's going to take some questions now. But let me just say this. In the 4 months that we have been in office, the work that we have been doing at the Department of Education to engage parents has been a direct response to what we have heard from elected officials and from parents themselves, who have said they have not felt heard, they have not felt respected, they did not have a seat at the table. That is changing every single day. We've been spending a great amount of time engaging parent groups all across New York City. It is part of the DNA of this administration. It's what the mayor believes in. It's the charge that he gave me. And it is what we are doing every single day. We are meeting with elected officials. We're meeting with parents and parent PTA groups and CEC leaders all across New York City. No one will be able to say that this mayor and this chancellor did not engage parents. That will not happen. We're doing it every single day, and we'll continue to do that throughout our administration. And so at this time, I think I'm turning it over to you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you had yet to appoint all 9 people to the PEP, and somebody previously appointed was forced to resign after her anti-gay writings were discovered by the New York Daily News. The DOE's proposal to reestablish FSF would likely have passed had all 9 members been appointed. In light of that, why should the state legislature trust your administration to effectively exert its control over the school system if it has failed to fulfill the basic responsibility of mayoral control?
Well, because we want to get it right. And as the chancellor stated, it's about parental engagement. And the goal was not only to be expeditious, to rush through things. We wanted to make sure we had the diversity. The number of candidates we have reviewed I think was unprecedented. Some of them were brought to the chancellor, was brought to me, and we said, no, it's just not fitting. We have to get it right. Because when you lay a foundation, then you don't have to come back and revisit it all the time. And we are excited about some of the candidates that are in the queue, and I'm sure the chancellor is going to be making an announcement in the next few days on those we trickle down to. One thing I know, if I haven't learned anything from the last few weeks as being mayor, you better get it right, because if you don't, you got folks like Michael who's going to be looking at everything you do to say, why did you miss this? So we're going to catch it before Michael writes the story. Yes.
Do you have a plan B? If you don't get mayoral control by June 30th, what's going to happen?
Yes, we do have a plan B. Plan B is getting mayoral control. Plan C is getting mayoral control. No, we believe the lawmakers are on our side. We believe the union leadership is on our side. We believe the parents are on our side. And every time we walk into school and the children say, give Eric and David mayor accountability, we believe the children are on our side. And so sometimes when you create a plan B, C, D, and E, you are setting yourself up for failure. And we're not. We have one plan, Plan A. Plan A is mayoral accountability. We believe that people understand how important it is, and that is our focus. Because it's a process. I was in Albany, and I want to commend those lawmakers for deliberation. This is a very important issue, and we love presenting our case. That's what, let's be clear on, the chancellor enjoys presenting his case. And so, yes, we would have loved to have gotten it through the budget, but since the lawmakers, we've done it before in Albany when I was up there, they're saying, we want to hear, peel back each layer of what you're doing. Our case is a good case. We have a good product. And so if the lawmakers are deliberating, which they should be doing, we say fine to that. We follow the process. But at the end of the day, we need mayoral accountability to move our schools forward. How are you?
I want to ask you where the UFT is on this, and why aren't they here today? And how important do you view their support in this battle?
Oh, so let me peel back each layer. One, you have to ask the UFT. I had a great dinner with Michael over the weekend. Michael has been a real partner in dealing with some of the crises we have in front of us. And this is how we kept the schools open, because of the help of Michael and his teachers. So you have to ask them about mayoral control specifically. I think that these unions that are here are part of, the thousands of parents as well as employees. And so I think that having a combination of all of our unions are important in this initiative, and we look forward to all of that. One thing's for sure, everyone agrees, the more clarity that we have, the better we're going to be to resolve the problems in our school system. You have to act again. Michael represents the UFT, and I believe that allow union members leadership to speak on behalf of their membership. How's it going?
I want to see how you feel generally about the potential of restructuring of the PEP. That's been some of the talk, that you may get fewer appointments in exchange for this extension. How would you feel about a restructuring of the PEP?
You lose PEP, you lose mayoral accountability. That's it. We want to be held accountable. We want people to point to us if things fail. We will turn around our school system, and PEP is part of that. Yes.
Are you going up to Albany this week? I know you just said for the next couple of weeks. And just are you worried that going out to places like LA and your comments earlier about how you're a global mayor, are those inhibiting your ability to advocate for things that the city needs right now, especially as crime is skyrocketing and you're trying to reform the movement?
First let's peel that off. If I go to Albany, folks write that why I'm in Albany and not in Brooklyn. So, I got that. But the reason what was so important about having the mayor of London here, because when we learn what they're doing, we are addressing the things that the city needs right now. He has an amazing educational plan. He has an amazing housing plan. When I sat down and spoke with him, he's dealing with issues of homelessness right now. And so I'm just lost on the disconnect of learning globally is addressing the things the city needs right now. If the only way this city can function is if Eric is in Brooklyn or on the ground, then we're in trouble. Because I have all of these professionals running my police department, running my school system, running my department of buildings, running my fire department. So if the only way our city can function is if I'm physically here and not learning what other mayors are doing, then we're in real trouble. That's not leadership. I'm not putting out fires. I don't have a firehouse. I'm not in the classroom teaching teachers. I'm not at the Department of Buildings approving permits. So if the narrative is that New York City can't function unless Eric is physically here, then we're in trouble as a city. London is still functioning with Mayor Khan here asking people to come to London. He's going to Simi Valley to get our tech companies to come there. He's headed to other cities to attract businesses there. That is the way mayors must do. And so I don't know where this narrative comes from that I don't have a professional group of people that know how to run the city. It's a real indictment on any mayor that their city can't function if they're not physically there. So I need to deal with these real problems of homelessness and learn what other cities are doing.
Well, off of that, are you concerned that last week's poll, for example, 53% of people said that they are concerned about your ability to tackle gun violence specifically? So again, looking at the summer, are you concerned that you being away is having an impact on voters' perception?
No. There was another poll that came out that 63% of people believe in my gun violence plan. 63% substantially believe in my homeless plan. So polls are going to go up and down. We're in May, 5 months into my administration. People are tired of the violence. They're tired of the violence. We're going to turn around the city. So there's no concern here. I understand the complexity of the emotions of New Yorkers. I'm in the streets every day. So no, I do not. And going to LA to learn about technology and bringing businesses here is not going to impact on our ability to do the job. So no, not at all. New York is going to be fine. We are going to get past this violence, past COVID, past the issues that are in front of us. You know, listen, I'm just an optimistic guy, and I just know the abilities of New Yorkers and our resiliency. And New Yorkers are opinionated, so it's all good.
I know Albany lawmakers are weighing a couple of options, like term limits for PEP members or giving parents more of a say in the PEP. Where do you stand on those things? Are you open to them?
All part of the conversations. There's some of the things we're going to talk about when we go to Albany. It's all part of the conversation. At the end of the day, we want mayoral accountability. Okay, folks. Let me get these off topics. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. 32 VJ HTC. Yes. Go ahead. Yep. Show me. Lovely, man. You know, great victory. We were running around, stopping at all those fast food restaurants. Everybody right here real quick. You don't want to be in?
Oh, okay.
How's Hubby doing?
All right, everyone out here, nice.
BJ!
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Sean. Yes, you can, brother.
Beatriz.
It's all good. Yes, sir.
Take one, please. Thank you.
All good. They can wait. Not down.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, man. How you, man? Doing well. How are you? Good, man. Thank you, brother. Grinding. Yes, you can. Thank you. How are you? Thank you. Thanks for coming out today. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Come on, Queen.
I'm gonna tell my uncle that you help famous.
But listen, my unions come first. They gonna always be there. Yes, you can. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Well, let's do a couple of off topics. How's it going? Always.
We've had a number of papers in the newsroom about vaccination stats. When people want to attend a graduation for their child in high school, parents have to be certified vaccinated, whether it's inside or outside of the students. Can you clarify? I mean, we have a lot of people asking what they need to do to be able to attend their child's graduation.
Yeah, this morning I was on my morning call with the health department. I don't know where the rumor came from that a determination was made already. That is not true. There was no official report that came from the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. The commission has made it clear. We will roll out an announcement on exactly what we're going to do, but there was no announcement made, and I just spoke with the commissioner.
Would it be different indoors versus outdoors? You think it would be different?
When they're ready to do the announcement, we're going to do so. Yes.
Than today. We talk about food deserts in the city a lot because of the lack of good supermarkets and produce. But we do have many neighborhoods in the city packed with junk food restaurants. So are you willing to engage the private sector in this commitment that you just made, that New York City just made, when it comes not only to healthy foods, healthy eating, but also the emissions produced by the production and cooking of these foods?
Yeah, you know, and I say this all the time jokingly, I'm the broccoli mayor. You know, people are not going to appreciate me until later when they see how far ahead our administration is on what food is doing to us, not only to our body, but it's doing to our planet. And, you know, sometimes this is an unpopular conversation, and, you know, people ridicule, they laugh, they joke, they call me names, and, you know, I got it. But retrospectively, people are going to look back on this and they're going to realize how forward thinking it is. What we must do is balance out. Food must look good, it must be good for you, and it has to taste good. So we have to invest in affordable, healthy food. We're not going to get the junk food folks out of business until we remove the demand of the junk food. And by New York really investing into good tasting, healthy food, finding ways to open them up in these communities where they're oversaturated with fast junk food that's hurting them. That's the balance we must do. And that is what we're doing. We're starting on the ground up, having young people engage in urban farms, seeing how to grow food. We did this as borough president. There are a number of children who said, when we did urban farming in school, children used to say, we've never had a salad before. I mean, that's just unbelievable when you think about the nutritional impact of eating healthy. So we got it. We know a lot of these communities that are dealing with high crime, dealing with health crises, dealing with so many other issues. You have junk food everywhere, so we have to balance that out. And our goal is to really encourage people to get good tasting, healthy food. And that is some of the things we did when I was in Los Angeles, looking at some of the healthy, good tasting food that we want to bring those companies here to New York. Yes. A schedule, we want to. I wanted to get up as soon as possible. Our team, my IG Intergovernment Affairs team, is finding out the best time to align my schedule with the schedule of the men and women, our lawmakers in Albany, so we could get the best bang for our bucks. And so it's just about scheduling. You know, we would love to get up there as soon as possible, but we have been on the phone. As I stated, I spoke with the leaders of both the Assembly and the Senate. So we would like to get there as soon as possible because this is an important issue for us.
Speaking of the healthy eating, video arose over the weekend of a fruit vendor at the subway station in Brooklyn who was handcuffed by the NYPD. Is that what you want your police focusing on?
No, what I want my police to focus on and what I want New Yorkers to focus on, we have to follow rules. And we have to be concerned about specifically food. There's a reason we have a Department of Health standards. If people are just selling food without any form of insurance of the quality of that food, someone could get ill from that. And so that's why there are rules in the subway system. Now, if I allow anyone to sell anything and someone gets sick, a large number of people get sick, you guys are going to be writing. Eric is allowing people to circumvent the Department of Health standards. So if we follow the rules, we won't have these incidents. And we're going to evaluate the interaction with the police and always find better ways to do so. But the bottom line is, next day is propane tanks being on the subway system. Next day is barbecuing on the subway system. You just can't do that. And I keep saying, I'm not going to send my officers mixed messages. We have to follow the rules. And each time we have an encounter, we evaluate to see how we can do it better. But the worst thing that has happened in this city is that we have been sending police officers mixed messages. Follow the rules. The rule was those officers encountered They said you can't do this here. There was real engagement, and the women decided to do something differently. We can't have anything and everything go in our city, and I make that clear over and over again. So we have to follow the rules.
Is that kind of infraction deserving of getting handcuffed?
We evaluated to see exactly what happened and do proper training. We're going to ensure that officers have the best minimum encounter to do summonable actions, but at the same time, we're encouraging New Yorkers follow the rules.
I wanted to ask you about the recent report the Federal Monitor put out, the Federal Monitor of the NYPD, basically saying the police department's either counting stops, which I think in the past they've said is, kind of clouded the impact, the racial disparity impact we've seen on stops. Why is that happening? I mean, do you agree with the premise that it is happening, and what is the police department going to do moving forward?
Must read the report. If you stop someone, you have to fill out the report. That's all. This is not complicated, and it's a continuous training. But if you stop someone, you have to fill out the report. Remember, this is what I advocated for as a police reformer, that it's imperative that we fill out the report. So I have to read his report to state why he believes that's happening. That's not what I'm getting. And if something in that report reveals that it's happening, then we have to retrain the officers to make sure they're doing it right. Stop someone, fill out the report. This is not rocket science.
My colleague published a story today about your person in charge of CAE, Fred Kreisman, who just a few months ago was working for Pamelino, a lobbying firm. And there's some people within certain communities in the city, when they realized that just a few months ago this person was working on behalf of people they think were working against the community, there was some concern about that. I just wanted to ask you, are you concerned about, I'm going to guess you're smiling, but what's your message for people within the community who are pushing to fight things that a few months ago he was working in favor of?
Fred is an amazing employee. Prior to being a lobbyist, Fred was a governmental employee under the Bloomberg's administration. And he personifies get stuff done. I am just really happy to convince him to take a salary cut and come work for government and deal with the scrutiny of the New York City press. I mean, you know how hard it is to get people to come in. They said, Eric, I don't want to deal with these brutal attacks. I didn't say bless you to someone that sneezed. They writing a whole full-page story. Right, I know that's going to be a story now. Listen, Fred is great. I'm happy to have Fred. I'm happy to have Fred. We are all blessed with that. And are there 3 New Yorkers that said, oh, we're unhappy that Fred is there? That's 8.8 million people in the city, 30 million opinions. I mean, thank God we have Fred. I love Fred. 5, okay. 5 out of 8.8 million. Okay, it's no secret to anyone that just about every other night I'm in the subway system, because if you don't inspect what you expect, it's all suspect. The commissioner speaks with me every morning. Every morning. She updates our team. She speaks with me. Then on the weekend, Sunday, the commissioner and I have a briefing of new things we want to do, how we're going to shift things around. We are in constant contact. We know public safety is a prerequisite to prosperity. We're zero in on it and we're focused. But we're going to be rolling something out this week that's just mind-boggling. How many crimes a small number of people are committing? I don't think New York is really connecting the dots. The police department is doing its job. The rest are up. The number of people who are committing grand larceny of autos, shootings, just a small pocket of people. But the system is bottlenecked. In the court system, people don't feel as though there are reprisals for their actions in the city. So what we're doing to the police department is just unfair. Putting your lives on the line to stop dangerous people, yet there's no support in place to partner with us to deal with those dangerous people. We're going to continue to do our job, but let's not kid ourselves. Arrests are up. Gun apprehensions, 2,500 guns, probably more now. I've been saying 2,500 for a week. God only knows what the number is right now. We are doing our job. And so the commissioner and I, we talk about it all the time, and we continue to pivot and shift and adjust. And I cannot thank her enough for just her vision on how we're going to get crime under control, and we are. I'm fully confident that we are, and New Yorkers are going to understand they made the right decision on their mayor and the right decision that I made in picking our police commissioner. Okay, thank you.